Now it's time for today's focus on the programme. And from 1972 until 1993, more than 300 tonnes of chlordacone was sprayed on Guadeloupe and Martinique's banana plantations. Now it is a highly toxic pesticide, and even though it is 25 years now since farmers stopped using it, it's still generating a health and environmental crisis in the French West Indies. Today, the two islands have the highest rate of prostate cancers in the world, and premature births there are 4 times higher than the national average. Our correspondents Edward Hayward and Celine White report. Locals say despite ample scientific evidence, the French government has ignored the impact the pesticides have had.
With 80,000 tons of the fruit exported each year, Martinique's banana trade is key to driving its economy. But the business has come at a high cost. Banana plantations are accused of spreading poison deep in the land and water of Martinique.
We're in the middle of a banana plantation where they've been using an organochlorine pesticide called chlordacone since 1972. It's an ecological catastrophe and a health disaster because 92% of the population has been shown to have traces of chlordacone in their bloodstream.
Louis Boutrin, a lawyer from Martinique, was the first person to link the toxicity of chlordacone to the effect it was having on people's health. As early as 2007, he exposed the slow poisoning of Martinique's human population.
For decades, our drinking water was full of chlordacone. The food was contaminated. That's just what happened here.
In 1976, the U.S. banned the use of chlordacone after scientific studies proved it was dangerous. But banana plantations in the French West Indies continued to use it until 1993. The authorities' lack of action had serious consequences for the population. According to a study from the French Institute of Health, years of exposure to chlordacone have increased the number of prostate cancer patients on the island. Martinique currently has one of the highest number of prostate cancer cases in the world.
I was a farmer at the Casapolo plantation, and I developed cancer because of the level of chlordacone in my blood.
Francois Veillon is one of the 10,000 farmers who worked without any protection on the banana plantation for years.
Nobody told us it was this serious. We know it's poisonous and we should have been more cautious. But you know, employers don't tell us those things.
A few farmers' rights associations have tried to take legal action to help victims, but they were not successful. Not a single complaint has led to a trial. But Josiane Jos Pelage refuses to give up. Working in a maternity ward, she saw all too well the impact of chlordacone on the population.
I worked here for 7 years. I was a pediatrician in this ward, and at that time we saw so many premature babies. There were a lot of premature births.
In 2010, she commissioned a successful study to prove the correlation between pesticide poisoning and premature births. Yet nothing has changed.
Of course there are studies, but the moment you move away from the theoretical side and look at the actual support that's available for pregnant women, then we hit a wall of denial.
Currently, the government does not ensure health support for pregnant women poisoned by chlordacone, even though it has been proven that the pesticide has contaminated a part of the food chain in Martinique, including the seafood. Fishing has been banned in 33% of Martinique's coastal waters because of chlordacone pollution. This has had catastrophic consequences for the local fishermen.
Fishing is banned all across this area. A lot of older fishermen now suffer from depression, and many young people were unable to develop their activity. There have been many tragedies because there's a family context to this. And when there was some support from the state, it was so pitiful that many were not able to keep on working properly.
In an effort to help fishermen diversify their activity, the French government launched the third chlordacone plan in 2014. But of the €1.5 million allocated, only 50 fishermen out of a total of 506 were able to receive help.
People need to know every time they eat a banana in France or anywhere else in the world that bananas kill. They've killed in Martinique, and we're still under the diktat of the banana here.
There is currently no effective way to get rid of the claudicone from the soil. Regardless, Abdul Jareh continues to grow fruits on the contaminated land. He is part of the new strategy to encourage fruit exports, the Zero Claudicone label, introduced by the Regional Natural Park of Martinique. Fruits that grow above the ground are considered toxic-free since claudicone cannot travel through tree trunks.
The plants that I grow don't contain any traces of claudicone, and several laboratories have confirmed this. It is possible for us to get our act together, and it is my earnest wish that we ensure that future generations are guaranteed products that won't damage their health.
A state visit by President Emmanuel Macron in September 2018 has raised the hope of Martinique's farmers. For the first time, a French president has publicly acknowledged claudicone poisoning in the French West Indies, and he has asked for a report to explain the magnitude of the contamination. If no viable solution is found soon, Martinique's land will stay soiled by this poisonous pesticide for centuries to come.